Good morning, Hornets. Today is Thursday, January 25th. Effective today, the upstairs D Wing restrooms are closed until further notice. We are still experiencing a high amount of vandalism in our school restrooms, paper towels in the toilets, just showing complete disrespect for what we have. So I'm taking the steps to make sure that we don't have those opportunities at this time. So the upstairs D Wing restrooms are closed until further notice. And again, this is going into effect today. If there's an emergency need for you to use the restroom during class time or in class passing time between bell changes, have your hall pass. You got to sign out on the classroom sign out sheet. And the only junior high restroom available is the first floor D wing restroom. And there will be a restroom monitor there that you need to sign in with. And that way they can timestamp when you're there and inspect the restrooms after you are done using them. And it's going to be a very slow process, but that is the price that we have to pay when we don't take care of the things that we have in the building. As always, all E Wing restrooms are off limits. Any student in the E Wing, which is the high school hallways, and you're not attending Mrs. Birchfield's class in E101, will be disciplined appropriately. Okay, so again, D Wing upstairs restrooms are going to be closed until further notice. And as soon as we show that we can handle these procedures, then we can maybe look into considering reopening the D Wing restrooms on the upstairs. Winter sports student athletes, key points from our meeting yesterday. Just remember, Main Street only, absolutely no visits to elementary teachers or use of elementary restrooms. If your event starts at 5 or later, you got to go home. Unless you're a junior high wrestler, you are permitted to be in the wrestling room with your coaches during the varsity practice until yours starts after 5 o'clock. And nobody is to pass the red fire doors on Main Street after 2:50 unless you are attending study tables. If you're on Main Street and you need to change, use the restroom, whatever, you are to use the locker room inside the varsity gymnasium. It's located on the back wall underneath the weight room. 8th grade Butler Tech field trip. So today is our final day for that. Be sure that you check the spreadsheet to see which group number you are in. That should be a great time. Our behavior the first 2 days has been fantastic. I've received great reports from the Butler Tech staff. So way to go, 8th graders so far. If you need a packed lunch, be sure to communicate with Mrs. Barger immediately. Send an email to her or ask to visit her in her office in D202. 8th graders attending the Washington, D.C. trip. There is a roommate meeting next Thursday, February 1st, during Hive. Only the students that are registered for the trip will need to meet with Mrs. Cianciola and Mrs. Stanger to learn about how we do roommates and the signups. You don't need to know who you're rooming with by the meeting. They're going to go over those procedures. Talk to Mrs. Cianciola or Mrs. Stanger if you have any questions about that meeting next Thursday. Hot chocolate and PJs is going to be tomorrow. Remember, bring your $2, wear your PJs, and then you can purchase that during your social studies class on Friday. Extracurriculars, we have boys basketball at home tonight and girls basketball traveling to Franklin. So best of luck to our teams in action. And with that being said, everybody have a fantastic day in Hornet Country.